Hello friends, hearty welcome of all of you in this video lecture of Economics 12th Standard. If you find after watching this video is useful to you, then please subscribe my channel Sridesh 999. Before starting this video lecture, I just revised what we studied in previous video lectures. In previous videos, we studied demand, concept of demand, individual demand schedule, market demand schedule, individual demand curve, market demand curve, types of demand, determinants of demand, why demand curve slopes downward from left to right. Then law of demand with assumptions statement of law of demand. So from this video lecture I continue the remaining part of this topic, that is exception to the law of demand. As discussed by Alfred Marshall, other things being remaining constant, higher the price of commodity, lower is the quantity demanded, and vice versa. But such things are not happen in reality because of certain exception. What is meant by exception? There are certain situations under that particular circumstances or situations, consumer buy more with a rise in the price of commodity. Consumer buys more with the rise in the price of commodity, and consumer buys less when price of commodity falls. Under this situation, demand curve slopes upward from left to right. So why, under which circumstances? So exceptions are related to these particular circumstances. So in exceptions we studied these circumstances, these situations under which the consumer buys more when prices are rises, and consumer buys less when prices are falls. So these, under these situations, the demand curve becomes slopes upward from left to right. So first of all we see the exceptional demand curve. The exceptional demand curve first I draw here normal demand curve. So this is our normal demand curve. What is meant by exceptional demand curve, or how the exceptional demand curve shows? The exceptional demand curve shows in this diagram. On y-axis we shows price of commodity in rupees. On x-axis we shows quantity demanded in kg. When price is 10, quantity demanded is 1 kg. When price is 20, quantity demanded is 2 kg. When price is 30, quantity demanded is 3 kg. When price is 40, quantity demanded is 4 kg. And when price is 50, quantity demanded is 5 kg. So this is an upward sloping demand curve from left to right. What happens in normal demand curve? Normal demand curve slopes downward from left to right because consumer buy, or it is the tendency of the consumer that the consumer buy goods when their prices are lower or at lowest prices, but in exceptional demand curve consumer will buy, or consumer definitely buy when their prices are more, they buy more. When prices falls, they buy minimum quantity or less quantity. So this shows the exceptional demand curve. This shows the exceptional demand curves. So under which situation the demand curve is exceptional? All these situations are categorized as an exception to the law of demand. Okay, so one by one we see exceptions to the law of demand. This is normal demand curve and this is exceptional demand curve. Exception to the law of demand. First exception, that is Giffen paradox. Giffen paradox or Giffen goods are inferior goods. Giffen goods are in refers to poor quality inferior goods demanded by very poor people in the society. Giffen paradox refers to poor quality inferior goods demanded by very poor people in the society. In case of these goods, demand does not rise with their price falls, or demand decreases even after price of such commodities falls. Means in such case demand curve is like exceptional demand curve, that is upward sloping from left to right. So Robert Giffen in 19th century, Sir Robert Giffen in England noticed such exceptional behavior in respect of such inferior quality goods which is demanded by very poor people in the society. Sir Robert Giffen observed this behavior in England in relation to the demand for bread. Demand for bread as the prices of bread declined, people did not buy more because of their increase in the purchasing power, purchasing power of poor people. If current price of bread is ₹10, but due to decline in the price from ₹10 to ₹8, then ₹2 rupees 10 is price for 100 units of bread, and rupees 8 is for 120 units for bread, 120 units of bread. So at that time their real purchasing power increases, means due to fall in the price they buy more 20 units of bread. But due to this fall in the price of bread, due to fall in the price of bread, people did not buy more. Because of their increasing their purchasing power, they prefer to buy superior goods. It is known as Giffen paradox. It is known as Giffen paradox or Giffen goods. In Giffen paradox, the demand curve slopes upward like that, is from left to right, upward sloping demand curve. According to Mr. Robert Giffen, when price of such inferior goods like bread falls, demand declines, so as the poor people, due to their increase in the real purchasing power, due to increase in their real purchasing power, they prefer to buy superior goods due to rise in their real income of the consumer. Therefore demand for superior good increases, which means there is fall in demand for inferior goods, which is exception to the law of demand. Means people, as we discussed earlier, the common tendency or common psychology of consumers, that they buy commodity at lowest price. But in case of inferior goods or in case of Giffen goods, the people does not buy the goods even their fall in the price of such type of goods. They buy a superior quality of goods. Okay, so this is known as a Giffen paradox, which is observed by Robert Giffen in 19th century in England in case of bread. Next exception, that is prestige goods. So what is meant by prestige goods? The goods which are regarded as a status of symbol in the society. For example, jewelry, golden ornaments, diamonds. In such case of goods, demand made by rich people is more for these types of prestige goods when their prices are high, and demand is less when their prices is less. When their prices are less. So in case of prestige good, it is also exception to the law of demand, because law of demand says that higher the price of commodity, lower is the quantity demanded, and vice versa. So in case of prestige goods, they refers to, then what is by prestige goods? Prestige goods means which goods which are regarded as a status of symbol. For example, golden ornaments, diamonds, jewelry. Rich people prefer to buy such type of commodities when their prices are high, and they buy less when their prices are less. Next point, speculation. The law of demand does not hold true when people expect prices still rise further. if it is expected that in this case consumer will demand more in anticipation of further rise in price. For example, before the Diwali vacation, before the Diwali festival, during this period before Diwali festival, prices of oils and sugars tends to rise. It is expected, it is anticipated by the consumer that the prices of sugar, prices of oil will rise in the period of Diwali. So people go purchasing more at high price as they anticipate that the prices may rise during Diwali. Prices may rise during Diwali. For example, in the stock market, people tends to buy more shares at rising prices. People tends to buy more at rising prices. In the stock market, people tends to buy more shares at rising prices. That is speculation. That is speculation किंवा सट्टे बाजार. Due to speculation, the demand for commodity may rise or fall. People may tend to buy more at rising prices because they anticipate that there is further rise in price in future. For example, in stock market, people tends to buy more shares at rising prices. At that time they expected that in future also there is rise in the prices, and the flow of rising prices is continue till the longer period of time. That's why they buy shares at a rising prices. Next point, consumer psychological bias or price illusion. Consumer psychology or price illusion means consumer illusion that high priced goods are better quality, therefore the demand for such goods tends to increases with rise in their prices. Consumer illusion that high priced goods are better quality, therefore they buy these types of good branded goods when their prices, if there is rise in the price, if there is increase in the price of such type of goods or commodities. For example, branded goods like Adidas, Reebok are examples of goods which are demanded at high price for their better quality, So it is a psychological, it is a thinking policy or tendency of the consumer. That they think that the high priced goods have better quality. That's why they buy these types of goods when their prices are rising or increasing. Next, ignorance. Sometimes consumer does not have proper market knowledge. Due to ignorance, people buy more of commodity at high price. This may happen because of consumer is ignorant about prices of the commodity of the same commodity at other places. Ignorance, sometimes due to ignorance, that is does not have, due to illiteracy or due to improper or not having the proper knowledge of the market about the prices of commodity, people will buy more at high prices because of ignorance. Next, habitual goods. Demand for habitual goods like alcohol, cigarette will buy more at highest prices, even their prices are highest, because consumer have habit of these goods, because consumer have habit of these goods. That's why they buy these goods to satisfy their wants, needs, even their prices are high. For example, alcohol, cigarette. Okay, the alcoholic person, the person having habits of cigarette, will buy more, will buy cigarette at, even their prices are continuously increasing to satisfy their habits. For today I stop here. After watching this video, you have to write down law of demand with exception.